Welcome back to Plan B Terraform, the game where you start on a pretty desolate island with 9 people to be precise. Now the good thing is we've already done one episode, so we're up to 105 people now on the island, mostly in New Paris over here. We've done, as you can see, a couple of things here, but yeah, don't hesitate to check in the video description below if you want to see a previous episode, the first one, where I went really through the basics. Plan B Terraform just released its version 1.0 and it's at 91% positive on Steam. So yeah, to recap on the basics, we're gonna have access to quite a lot of buildings. This is the beginning, we're gonna have more and more. We need to extract resource. For example, this is iron ore. Here we have sulfur. Here we have aluminium. So we extract resource, we put it into depots, we start transforming it into other things like the aluminium ore is transformed into aluminium bar. Then we can transform these into others. Like over here, for example, we are taking both aluminium bars, which comes from what we just saw over here, right? And polymer bars, which come from this carbon, which comes from these over here, atmospheric extractors, right? So that's the basics, right? We also have trucks that are transforming some of those resources, and we're transporting some of those resources also to our city. For example, Paris over here is currently asking for oxygen and reinforced concrete. If you're paying close attention, you can see I deleted the supply center that was here for the reinforced concrete so that I don't waste any resource, because right now my goal is not to grow Paris. My goal is, if we look over here, to increase the temperature by 1%, or 1 degree, sorry. It's not gonna be enough to terraform the planet, but it's gonna be a start. So how do we do this? Well, we need greenhouse gas generators. And for this, we can see this needs to be built in the assembly plant with mechanical parts and aluminum bars, right? So aluminum bars and mechanical plants. Well, I know we have over here some aluminum bars. I know we have over here some mechanical parts. That is basically creating atmospheric extractors. So it's the same thing. It's the same thing. What I do want to do probably is expand this so we can actually copy this up. I'm gonna copy it over here. That should start working. We have iron ore, transform it to steel bars. And steel bars is going to be transformed into mechanical parts. Perfect. And then I can have like just a very small road that goes from here to there to transport this here. Actually, I think we're going to change that into a tier 2. This one too. And we're going to put one of these assembly over here for the greenhouse generators. So that should get started as long as I have a truck here going. And I think realistically a couple of trucks will definitely be enough. But it is, we're transporting this there. This is starting, perfect. We're gonna accelerate the time and I'm gonna put, where is that building? Where are you? Here. We're gonna put you in the favorite too. And now we're gonna need to start making them, right? So let me show you. This building here will have in the future multiple recipes, but for now this is the only recipe. It is going to create this SF6 gas if you have sulfur and fluorite. So let's find a place. I'm thinking here, this is fluorite, yes, and this is sulfur. Okay, perfect. We're gonna put it in the middle of those two. Let's delete that because we don't have that many. We only have 5 right now. So let's go. We're gonna, do something like this. Now we have 80, so we're not, doesn't really matter if we lose one or not. I'm gonna put these tier 2. And now also with the tier 2, as you can see, this can deliver there, which can deliver there, which can then deliver here. So that's something we can do. And start having something like this where basically they can all deliver to that one now. The road is here and then I can send that there. Okay, we're gonna have again the fluorite one. Yes. Truck now. Up. There. Gonna make maybe 20. Perfect. We're gonna do the same on this side. Let's actually start here. Okay, perfect. Okay, so this is bringing a lot of sulfur. And then we're gonna need these guys here in the middle. Actually, I see this was sulfur. No, not sulfur, sorry, my bad. This is fluorite. Okay. And yeah, let's add a few more here. Let's start with 3. So we're starting to create gas. Now, if I click on the temperature over here, we're gonna see SF pressure here starting to increase. Here it is, starting slowly but surely to increase. And actually we can see even the temperature slowly increasing. Obviously 1 degree is not that much, so it's gonna be done also pretty quickly. And same for the pressure, you know, it's gonna increase slowly but surely with this production. So yeah, see you in a minute when that's done. Well done, terraforming is in progress. Here on Earth, we invest heavily and make good progress to fight climate change, warming, but it's not easy. Not climate change, warming, sorry, climate warming. If things were turning bad, a Terraform B412F would ensure the survival of humanity. It's our plan B. We hope that our works here can serve as an example of what mankind can produce when we get serious about it. In the meantime, you have now access to high technology parts. They will improve the quality of life in cities. So next mission is to reach, or next level is to reach 300 of population. We have the high tech parts which take polymer and aluminium to make. So we're gonna need to start making that. And in the meantime, you know, this will basically continue to run to continue increasing the temperature slowly but surely. So let's go back over here to my city. We're gonna create, where is it? One of these up. So it's gonna restart giving reinforced concrete. And I know that with that, you know, we're going to restart increasing the population. Here it is. And now they want high-tech parts. So we need to start giving them, right? So as we said, this is aluminium and polybar. So we need to find, I mean, aluminium, we have a lot of aluminium there. This is basically the same as this, but I'm gonna keep it separate. So what we're gonna do is maybe, because this production here is also pretty slow. So let's go. Actually, we can probably just copy all of this. Let's put it slightly further. Actually, I can even double it now, because that way I'm going to create a lot of carbon, right? We take all of this carbon and then we need to transform it into polymer bars. So let's go. Factory polymer bars. Polymer bars. I'm thinking we can probably put 4 and then one of these will capture it all. Perfect. Then can do one of these here, and then middle we're gonna need high-tech parts. Okay, probably gonna want a couple more of these. Let's go. This was polymer bars, this was aluminium here. Aluminium, okay. And that way we can copy this one, have a few more, and then we're gonna have just one these for high-tech parts, and we can have, you know, make it could actually work there, but it's to make it clear that this is a new start. Not a new, sorry, wrong button. I need the trucks. So you go here and all the way to the city. We're gonna need another one of these. Wait, why? What's going on? Oh, this is not connected. Sorry, my bad. My bad. So actually, let's go and connect it. And then here I also want to maybe do, let me see. Let's maybe do something like this. Okay, so we can keep this one. We could also add another one just to be safe. We're gonna put one of these here, but we're gonna say this is for high-tech parts, right? And so this is basically the end of the road for this truck here. Okay, so go all the way here, please. And you're gonna probably need quite a few because it's a very long road for them to deliver, but I'm pretty sure this is gonna be enough for the city to grow. No, this is still basically useless. Oxygen, we can still see there's a lot of reserve. Maybe in the future we'll need to grow, but for now this is fine. So yeah, the high-tech parts have arrived. So that should start growing. It's 113, 14, 15, 16. So yeah, I'll see you in a minute when we hopefully are at 300. Bigger cities produce so much waste they can't handle it without recycling. They'll soon require your help. You must recycle their waste and return it to the resource flow. If you don't, they're not gonna grow basically. They're not gonna be happy. So we get now access to the recycling center, the waste disposal, right? And the metal waste. So it's basically what's gonna come from the waste. But in the future, we'll have also many other things. So if we click on Paris, we can see city waste disposal insufficient. We're not taking care of it. And by the way, this is where we're gonna see one of the first big improvements that I like versus, when we first look at the game, is now for all of the supply centers, but also for depots, we have this option at the bottom, which is called backup supply. And basically it is, we don't want to use these until we really need it, because this way we're gonna focus on using first the resources from the recycling, and when there is no resource available from recycling, then you use these ones. That's kind of the idea. So we're definitely going to, select these ones, tell them don't do it, right, unless you really have to. And then we're gonna create the recycling centers. So we need concrete and high-tech parts. So it's basically the same as over here, right? Oh no, concrete and high-tech parts. Sorry, my bad. So we have high-tech parts here, we have concrete there. So maybe we just send a couple to that place too. Let's go. So high-tech parts, and do that, some reserves. Then we can have another road here. And then again, this is not necessary, it's more for me to kind of make things a bit clean, easy to know what's happening where, to know where I need to improve, like where do I not have enough, those type of things. This is sulfur, right? Yes. Sulfur. Oh, let's copy it a bit more. Okay, so we're gonna have a lot of sulfur here. We're gonna transform it into concrete. That's the idea here. Okay, and then we're gonna bring all of these, where are you, concrete, over here. And then we're gonna need to also deliver basically some high-tech parts there. And then we're gonna put it in the middle, a couple of assembly for the recycling, where are you, recycling center. I don't really need that much, but I'm showing you that the more the game progresses, the more we can kind of expand our productions, make them bigger. So that's the idea here. We don't need that many trucks. Let's see it in action in a second. So it is. We have now these. So if I go here, we can see soon, should be 1, 2, yeah, here it is. Perfect. Oops, wrong one. Please delete. Okay, so we're going back to Paris. And we're gonna say maybe on this side over here of Paris, let's put a couple of recycling centers. No, this is not the recycling centers. Sorry, my bad. My bad. So where are you? This one. Waste disposal. This one is pretty easy. It is just with concrete. So like over here, we have a lot of concrete. Let's go. Put a couple of these extractors as always. A couple of these for the sulfur. Then a few factories for the concrete. Up for the concrete. And then factory assembly plant. Where are you? Waste disposal. Okay. So that should start making some waste disposal. Let's actually put... I don't really need to put them in my favorite because I'm not gonna create that many. But here, there it is. It needs to be connected to the city. The production is 57, right? So we're gonna need to keep that in mind. Now it is full, right? So this is where obviously you need to start taking it out. Okay, and then transforming it into recycling center over there. We probably will want more of them in the future, but anyway, this is going to take the metal waste, create some steel bar and some aluminum bar. Right? And so then we can think about, okay, what do we do? Oops, wrong button. What do we do with this steel bar? What do we do with these aluminum bars? Right? Because if I don't do anything with them, they're gonna get full, which means it's gonna stop again, right? So let's see. We're going to then basically take some storages. We're gonna say these ones are for steel bars, right? So that's fine. It's kind of, okay, my exit is gonna be on this side for the steel bars. And then we want another one. This one, was it aluminum, I think? Okay, we get limited funding from Earth, from our labs here, but we were able to perfect an automated train that move resource further and faster. Sorry, Earth has its own issue. Big political change here in many countries. That sounds like something happening today. Nationalism is on the rise and countries are turning inwards. This is not the priority anymore. That's but yeah, we have the rail and we have the train. So actually this is, by the way, a great way to take care of our of some of the things that come from recycling, because you could say that you could make rails unlimited, right? The number of rails is unlimited, so that can use all of our steel. Train is mechanical parts and high tech. It's a bit more complex, but anyway. So let's me just do this, make sure, and basically we're gonna say the aluminium output is gonna be on this side. Okay, so we're taking a lot of steel bars, and as I said, we can potentially use this steel to make some trains. We're gonna need some concrete though. There is concrete over here, so I'm gonna create a new road. I could use the same. Let's just use the same. No need to do something too crazy, but I will send it all the way there basically. So we're gonna say you're gonna be the steel bars that were created. So yeah, created from my recycling, I mean. So let's make sure there is a lot there. Then we're gonna need here. Oh no, this is not what I wanted, sorry. This needs to be concrete. Concrete. Okay. So to be able to make concrete, we're gonna need quite a bit here of sulfur. I know I could do it a bit quicker, sorry about that. But basically here it is. So you're gonna get me a lot of sulfur. You're going to then transform this sulfur here into concrete. Perfect. Then it goes here. So now we have concrete and steel. And so we can build some assembly plans for the rails. Maybe not perfect like this one. No, it's in range. Okay. So it is. This is going to hopefully take care of all of my aluminium. Now we need to also make sure we take care of all of the, no, aluminium, sorry, all of the steel. Now aluminium, what can we do with aluminium? Well, there is here the high-tech parts, right? And we can do also the reinforced concrete. No, that's the steel, sorry. So it's mainly this, right? Aluminium is mainly with polybar, we can do high-tech. And so it's a good example to show you how to sand it back in particular, as I see that the high-tech right now is low. Is there a problem with my high-tech? So we are basically very low on the carbon or polymer. And that's why it's low, okay? But again, this is why it's a perfect example to show you we should just send these back in. So we are going to need quite a lot of carbon though. So let's start making a big carbon production. One, two. So this is all gonna be carbon. Then we transform the carbon here into polymer bars. We can have even more carbon. Let's go. Just a few more of these. Up, up. Yeah, it's still carbon here. So they're going to create quite a bit of polymer, hopefully. Up, polymer bars, good. So we're gonna have the polymer bars here, have that there, and then in the middle we need a couple of these to make high-tech parts. Okay. And then we need to store them. Here. And then we can basically send them over here into a supply center. And we're gonna say this one is actually the normal one. This one should always be used first, if I'm not mistaken. And that way, like you can see, hopefully these high-tech parts here will start, you know, we're gonna start having reserved of high-tech parts here because we don't use them anymore. And we just use these instead. Okay, I feel like my population must have somehow decreased. No, waste disposal is fine too, sorry. 100%. Yeah, so we had 100% of both. The mission is to get to 1000. They, by the way, again, don't say 1000 in one city. So at some point we may have to also start expanding the other cities. And let's also take a quick look while we're waiting at our temperature. So the pressure has slightly, you know, started to increase. It takes more and more to increase. You know, this is a log scale, so it takes more and more to increase. But yeah, the temperature slowly but surely, we are basically started at -60. We're almost at -50 now. Still not very habitable, but we're getting there. Metal recycling is not enough. Bigger cities will also generate plastic waste, and there will be also food waste and all thereafter. We have developed a new greenhouse gas, NF3, which uses nitrogen, so you can extract from the polar ice. Try to balance your production of SF6 and NF3 to have the most efficient impact on temperature. Oh, I didn't remember there was a balance in the to have, but anyway. So we have the plastic waste now, We have nitrogen that comes from those ice extractors. We're gonna need to make those ice extractors with reinforced concrete and mechanical parts. And we have the new gas, the NF3, which is nitrogen plus fluoride. Okay, and now the mission is to reach 2000 of population. So I could do two things. One is we could potentially try to stop upgrading the city right now and focus on the gas first, or we could try to increase our population a bit more. I'm guessing they will probably want some, to increase the population. Basically, we're gonna need to have more waste disposal. So if you look over here, metal all good, but plastic not good. So we probably need, we can do a different output of the waste. For example, over here, where we're gonna say, please, instead of metal, this time take plastic waste, right? So if I do this, now this is going to start, right? But we're gonna need to obviously treat this plastic waste. So let me show you. Here it is. Plastic waste is gonna make polymer bars. Okay, interesting. So basically we can fill it back there, I guess, in a pretty simple way. Okay, so let's go here. Say that's polymer, right? Yes. So polymer, up, polymer, up, and we're going to send it there. And what we can do is basically say, don't supply, like I can say this should be the priority basically, but I didn't leave a lot of space to be able to do that, so we may need to move things a bit. So let me see. Let's just delete these guys. I'm gonna delete that. We're going to keep this there. So this is aluminium, that's fine. And then, basically I'm gonna say polymer, you're gonna go here. This one is gonna go there. Okay. So this is the output, but this guy should be like that. So let's see. That basically means first this should be the priority to fill it out, and only when this is really empty they're gonna send some, if I'm not mistaken. And then we need over here to make some mechanical high-tech parts. Okay. I may have made a mistake, but we'll see that in the future if basically we have problems. For now, I think this is taking care of the plastic waste, so the city should continue growing. And therefore, in the meantime, we can start on our second gas. But for that, we're gonna need some ice extractors, which I think, ladies and gents, will probably be in the next episode. New Paris is growing. Right, we are at more than 1000 of population over here in this new city. We have taken quite a few new productions. We've also started recycling, which is quite important. You have to make sure you take care. Like if this becomes full, that's gonna be a problem. So we have to keep that in mind. And we've started to terraform the planet with a first gas into the atmosphere, temperature going up. Water is not there yet, but it's gonna come soon. So I hope you're enjoying this one. Smash like button. I hope to see you next time.